All right. Anybody who's here, just give me a sec. I'm just going to check, make sure that we are all set and live. Let's see. Okay, yes, we are live. So go ahead and say anything, whatever you want in the chat. I just want to address the situation that this is not something I thought I'd be talking about today. um, for anybody who isn't aware, WWE has released, as far as I'm aware, at least 9 different superstars today. Who are they? To name a few, let me go find the specific article on WWE's website to see specifically what it said. And I could be recording this as a video, but this is not the time to do that. Give me just a second. I'm looking for the article. They have been updating regularly the same article, so I'm looking for it. It's loading. Give me just a second. Let's see. Move my mic a little closer to my mouth today. My computer's being very slow. Give me just a minute. Okay, so according to WWE's article on the website, they have released Kurt Angle, Rusev, Drake Maverick, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, Eric Rowan, Sarah Logan, No Way Jose, Mike Chioda, Mike Kanellis, Maria Kanellis, EC3, Aiden English, Leo Rush, Primo Cologne, and Epico Cologne. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That is 20 people so far today. At least as of this being filmed, that is 20 people today that WWE has released. So I wanted to mention this because anybody who hasn't heard of this yet should hear of this. Yesterday, Linda McMahon donated $18.5 million to the Trump administration to help rebuild the U.S. economy. And Vince McMahon has been labeled the chairman of WWE, Vince McMahon, by Donald Trump, who has decided to have him be on a team of advisors to help rebuild the economy. And it just seems kind of fishy to me. And I am a Trump supporter, so it has nothing to do with the fact that it's Trump or the fact that any of that, nothing to do with government. It just seems a little fishy because that means that Vince McMahon told his wife, or worked with his wife, I should say, to donate lots of money, which is good that they donated money. It's good for them. But then the next day, they're going to claim that because of budget cuts, they're going to release some talent. and some talent isn't the 4, 5, 6, whatever it typically is for their spring cleaning, because like that's a part of it, that happens sometimes. I get it, and especially if somebody's really unhappy, then they get released, like John Moxley did. Um, but what's weird to me is that they in just a day they have released 20 different members of their roster. And the day's not over, and who knows how many could still follow. Um, is this is ridiculous, and I didn't realize this is something I needed to do today. But for those of you who don't know, I support Conman167, who is a um, I would say medium-sized streamer who does WWE based content and AEW based content and such like that. And he normally does his Conman Universe WWE 2K20 videos this time, and he was supposed to be doing it at 3 o'clock. But because of this stuff, he ended up streaming earlier, and I happened to miss it, unfortunately. And I still haven't seen the whole thing because I was in the middle of it as I hit record or hit go live. So I just barely have seen some of what he said, but I've also been keeping up on Twitter, and let's see. What are some things I've seen? Yes, so he posted up, and you guys won't be able to necessarily see this, but I will be retweeting a lot of this. So if you go to my Twitter feed, you will be most likely able to see it. Is on his page, and you can go to this as well. He has said, um, he had retweeted Dan Brown couldn't fit anymore, but hashtag thank you. And the picture provided has so far all of the released superstars. I would like to mention as well. Oh man. I would like to mention as well that I'm seeing some people on that picture that I have not mentioned on the website. For example, I now see I believe that's Shane Helms. Fit Finley is on the list. Let's see who else. Vladimir Kozlov, Dash and Dawson, because even though they weren't today, they were technically the first releases of this bunch. And that looks like Shane Helms in the picture, but I'm not entirely sure. Because like I've said, what I've seen on the website is the most released or the most updated version, and I'm actually gonna refresh that page. So some of that might be false, but that yeah. Let's see what else do we have here. So I have posted on my own Twitter. I've retweeted Drake Maverick's response to the firing, and it's heartbreaking. It really is, because like what people don't necessarily understand, people who aren't involved with the sport and the industry don't necessarily understand. Or if you're not a fan, what you don't necessarily understand is that this is what these people do for a living. This isn't a side job. This isn't like what I do, where I do it. Where I mean, I'm technically still in training. I have a match that's supposed to be happening, but you don't realize that it's not just a side gig. It is something that these people rely on to feed their families, and it's something that they've been doing for years and training for years. And to just have it taken away at the snap of fingers is just insanity. Um, and I mean, for guys like Rusev, it's like, I've seen that coming for the past couple years. But um it's still just so crazy to know that it happened, because it's just crazy, because like 2014 is when he first entered the company, if I'm correct. And that's 6 years. 6 years is a pretty decent amount of time to work for somebody and do something specific, especially because of the Rusev Day, especially if WWE is copywriting the name because he used to be, for those of you who remember, he used to be Alexander Rusev back in NXT, and when he first got to the main roster, he was Alexander Rusev. So I'm assuming WWE is the ones who are taking the names, and I'm assuming they're not giving anybody their rights unless they pay for the copyright or the trademark. And obviously for guys like Drake Maverick who were known as Rockstar Spud beforehand, but I had never heard of Rusev before WWE. And you got guys like Kurt Angle who is Kurt Angle who will be fine. But it makes me wonder for guys like EC3 obviously has his, but for guys like Mike Kanellis, is he still going to be able to go by Kanellis, or is he going to go back to being Bennett? And guys like Aiden English, like is he like Simon Gotch is going by Simon Grimm, but what would Aiden English change it to? That would make sense, and there's just a lot of weird, like almost like politics behind it that don't quite line up. Um, and I actually have this loaded up on my Twitter. Anytime I'm going to Twitter so far, I've been launching a new tab because I have something under the search for WWE releases. It is a response from Seth Rollins that I have not watched yet. So I don't know if you will be able to pick it up, but I will more or less summarize it afterwards, regardless. Um, yeah, it's not loading for me. It's buffering, but he basically talks about that he's just trying to comprehend what's happening and comprehend all this insanity. Um, because there's just so many things happening. Um, like it happens so quick. Like I probably spent 2.5 hours on my trampoline today, so I was outside for quite a bit, and I edited and posted my video of me dyeing my hair. And for those of you who haven't seen it yet, this is what it looks like. I dyed it blue. It's a few days on from the recording, so it looks a tad different now. But so I did that and I uploaded that, and that actually was really short. So I'm actually kind of glad I have something else to put up today. But I'm not glad that this is the reason that I have something to put up today. Um, it's such a crazy thing to think about because you watch. I've been WWE is the reason that I personally am a pro wrestling fan, and I think it's like that for most of us. And I started watching around 2014. So it's just kind of crazy to know that this is happening and to see that it's happening, and hopefully I really think this needs to come back and come down on Vince McMahon and the company as a whole, because this is absolute chaos. And I'm going to open up a new Twitter tab I need to lower my mic a bit because I can't see my keyboard all that well, but I want the audio to be good for this because I believe this will be just replayable as is without any audio changes or anything, which is fine, but we'll see. So I want to go to Vince McMahon's Twitter, see if he has posted. Not Vince Carter. My computer can be slow sometimes. Vince McMahon. Let's see. The last update was April 4th, and it was about WrestleMania. So now I would like to go to Triple H's Twitter and see if he has made any mentions, because so far all I've seen for mentions is the talent. No, they have not given an update. Um, I would like to add about the Drake Maverick thing though. He has mentioned in his statement, if you have not seen it yet, he has mentioned that WWE will let him finish the NXT Cruiserweight Championship tournament, but after that, if he doesn't win, which if he's not booked to, then obviously he isn't going to, which is potentially why he was so distraught, was he said that if he doesn't win, then there's no chance for him to stay. And if he won, that would be the only way he could see himself being allowed to stay in the company. Um, and I understand that WWE for a while now, for frankly the last couple years, since like 2017, since like late 2017, they have been way overbooked with talent, and they've had way too many people on the roster. But this is not the way to go about it. You know, I think that doing it slowly over time would have been smarter. And the way that it happened, you know, the fact that they did it all at once, it really makes me wonder what WWE will get for backlash, because obviously it's trending on Twitter. I don't know about Instagram, and maybe I can check that right now. I'm not sure about anything else, so if it's trending or not. I do need to grab my phone charger, and plug it in because my phone is at 10%. Um, yeah, I'm going to. No, I'm not gonna unplug anything from over here, so I'm actually just gonna try to deal with it. But let's see. I have my phone right here. Um, Nothing on WWE's Instagram page, but let's go WWE, if I would spell it right, releases. There are multiple posts, including certain people's responses and such and so on. Let's see. I see another picture of Shane Helms, so he may be gone. But it was not, as of the last checking, it was not official on the WWE website. Um, Becky, okay, I see an update from Becky Lynch. I know I'm not trying to be very quiet, you know, but it's a live stream. It happens. It's not edited. So this was Becky Lynch's response. This is from Twitter, but it was somebody who had reposted it. She says, "Today is a tough day for all of us, and the in what of this business." There we go. I wasn't saying it correctly. When this hardship is over, I hope we're all reunited, working together, and make some magic in front of fans who make it all worthwhile. And here's another one from Andy Murray from What Culture Wrestling, who has said, "It's important to not let WWE off the hook tonight." And immediately I agree. Vince is worth $1.7 billion. They have reserves of $500 million for situations like this, and just bribed Florida $18.5 million to brand these poor wrestlers who, in all seriousness, need to be home with their families right now. There's no reason for them to be in business still at the moment, or at least for them to not halt their business. Um, this is an awful day, and it's on them. Now, I 100% agree, because WWE losing a couple people is one thing, and it'll save them a little bit of money, and that happens sometimes. I get it. For example, if my boss at my day job um came up to me and said, "Hey," or at the end of my shift, the end of my next shift said, "Hey, just so you know, we appreciate what you've done, but we think it's time that you stop working for us," or something like that. Um I'd be like, "Okay, I understand. I'm one of the new guys. It doesn't necessarily matter. Whatever, it sucks for me because I'm going to be taking a hit for a couple weeks until I can get another job, but it's the way it goes sometimes." But this is not, "Oh well, this is 20 people fired in a day and I may not even be updated." Um this and it's and some of these it's like you kind of expect, Rusev, it kind of I felt like it was coming, which is weird because they're gonna keep Lana, but I mean she's doing her own thing with Lashley now. So I guess it makes sense. Kind of like how John is in AEW and Renee Young is in WWE. Um but like so there are some like that are typical, but then you have some of them that are just pure shocks. It's like who are some of the shocks? Like Gallows and Anderson. Like those guys just had that awesome WrestleMania match with AJ Styles and The Undertaker. And I know they were only in it briefly, but like they were running that whole program and everything, and they've been on such a good hot streak. And like going from the club to the OC was great for them. And guys like Eric Rowan, who even though they had the spider bit, I thought was really dumb, but they were giving him something to do that was different. Nobody had done that before. It was something different, and I was like, okay, cool. They're giving him stuff and they're making it work. You know, so then you have that one that was kind of a surprise. EC3, that's one that I felt coming for a while, but it's like it's so shit because like he just got back in the company. It was not that long ago, and like they literally gave him nothing. He was good in NXT, though not his full potential, and then he just was done as soon as he got called up. It was so unfortunate. And guys like Leo Rush, we haven't seen him for a while, but we knew that he was a great talent, and he had given updates on his mistakes, and he said, I understand what I did, and I look towards the future, and it was good, you know. And something I'm thinking about as well is why are they not releasing the big names that don't need to be there? Brock Lesnar, a guy who should have been gone years ago. And I'll give him credit. It made the moment with Drew McIntyre that much more memorable. But he didn't need to be there. He's a bit of a pill as far as the booking goes because and I have nothing against Brock Lesnar the guy. I have a problem with Brock Lesnar the wrestler because the bookings are what bug me. So guys like that. And like where's Lars Sullivan? With the whole sex tape scandal and the creepy comments and such and all his misdoings, and nothing against Lars the guy again, but like he got himself into that trouble. So why is he still technically employed by the company? Because as far as I'm aware, he's still employed. I'm gonna go ahead and refresh this page again, the WWE one, to see if any new names have been added, but I am not entirely sure if there will have been any more. No, the as of right now, those are still up to date, but I will keep updates going and such. I'm not. This isn't going to be a super long stream, but I feel like this is something that needs to be done as a stream, not a video. I see Deonna Purrazzo has been released. Let me check on that. Um, Let me check. Sorry, just a second here. Still no update from nothing from Deonna Purrazzo and nothing from WWE on Instagram. Instagram is not really going to give me much information right now. I realize that. Um, so let me check on Twitter because WWE stars tend to be more active on there. So let's check. Deonna Purrazzo, has she actually been released, or is that just something somebody put? Because there have been a couple like that. Like somebody said Sasha Banks was gone. I did not see anything saying Sasha Banks was gone. Um, 3 hours ago, the people closest to me know that this is something I've been struggling with, wanting for the better part of the last year. Struggling with wanting for the better part of last year. Happy to say I gave this journey my best and more excited for the future. So she doesn't say directly that she has been released, but the way that it has been made and sounded is that she has been released, which is just insanity. Uh, let's see. I'm just gonna go ahead and mention a few things that I have put up on my Twitter that I have not mentioned so far. And go ahead and leave a mention in the chat. Give me a little blurb about what you're thinking about this and such. Um, let's see. Oh yes, yes, yes. So this one is very important to me. Okay, this is from WrestleVotes, which is an inside reporting company. This has been said 4 hours ago, because obviously I'm not the first guy to report on this. They have said, all I can say is wow at this point. The number of people, staff, and talent let go will be in the hundreds when it's all said and done. Well into the hundreds. A dark day in WWE history. I don't know about you guys, but 20 people in one day is bad enough. 4 people in one day is bad enough. And it may be fleshed out over the next week or two, but um several hundreds, well into the hundreds. Um if I had to guess some people that might be gone next, uh the number one person that comes to mind right now is Liv Morgan, because even though she just got this big push in this kind of new character, um she's not an asset. And if it's going to be people well into the hundreds, I feel like WWE is going to only keep their assets. And maybe a few mid-carders. But for the most part, it'll be the main eventers, if I had to guess. If this is true, which is just insane. Um, Fight TV has said there's a lot to discuss in the wrestling world. Tune into at PWR 360 #reaction at the top of the hour. This was an hour ago, so they may not be live still, but we will see. A team will discuss what everyone's been talking about today, hear their thoughts, and get yours heard using #PWR Live, free on Fight TV. So this is not just an average thing. This is not something that is just a quick little briefing. This is huge. And I understand. There's a pandemic going on. Well, guess what? it doesn't give you the right to fire 20 employees in a day and 22 within a week or two if you're counting the revival, which I am. Um this is crazy because obviously WWE is a very tough business. Vince McMahon is a very cutthroat businessman, but I didn't expect it to escalate this far. It's it's just insane because like you I mean they're a multi-million dollar, that's not true. They're a multi-billion dollar company. And Vince McMahon is a multi-billion dollar businessman. And they donated a lot of money, and because of that, they are releasing talent. So, why hasn't AEW done this? Why hasn't Ring of Honor done this? What about Impact? NWA? You know, and like, especially as indie wrestlers, you know, because WWE, nobody ever expected it to go out of business. This is what is going to kill the company. This is what will be the one little kick that AEW needed to become the number one promotion in the world. And if this continues, and even at this rate, maybe, WWE will fall. Or at least drastically fall, if not entirely. Um, Now I put out this tweet earlier today. This was an hour ago. This was my first time logging back onto my Twitter in several months, maybe even a year or more. And for those of you who might be looking for it, who don't know what it is, it's Brody Jackson. And it should, the name officially should be the Phoenix in quotations, and then Brody Jackson following. That should be Brody Jackson PW. And the profile picture should be my Phoenix profile picture, and the cover art should be the Phoenix. Because I just updated it today. Yeah, so it was October 2019. That was the last time I was on here, and it was stuff that I had reposted or retweeted about 2K20. And that's all that's on this Twitter, because anything else I have on Twitter is from a different account that I don't use anymore. But an hour ago, this was my statement. This was when I first, this was about a half an hour, this was about a half an hour into watching Conman's stream, and I said this. I said, so I haven't logged onto Twitter in several months, but I need to address this. At WWE, at Vince McMahon, have been releasing lots of employees. This is not a standard spring cleaning. The layoffs plus the money to Trump to restart the economy seems fishy. And as I'm saying this, I've continued to check for updates, and I have not seen much that has been new, although I am not doing my best job at keeping up with it. It's just insanity to know that this happened because of a virus. And it reminds me of back in the days of Ebola, which was, I believe, 2016-ish, something like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but whatever. But it reminds me, because that was the first time I ever heard of somebody quarantining. And I remember me being a little nervous about it, but everybody was like, "Oh, it's fine," you know. It's down in Florida or Texas or wherever it was. It was like it's not coming up to Vermont, and to that point, I was like, "Okay, you know, whatever, fine," you know. and it passed. It ran its course. But coronavirus is kind of similar because of quarantining. Um, but this time it's not statewide. It's not just a Florida thing or a Texas thing or wherever it happened to be. I can't remember, Midwest, something like that. This is a global pandemic, and I don't know if any of you have seen that article or that little article in the Bible or whatever. Um, Coronavirus article in Bible or whatever. I don't know if that's exactly where it was from, but I want to see if I can find it. There are a few different ones, so I don't know if I'll find the one I want, but if I can find any of them, I will read them off. And I know this is a bit boring just looking at me talking for so far 36 minutes, but this is my first time doing a proper stream on YouTube, so I will work with and I am doing it on a Chromebook, so I will do my best to work with it in the future. But for now, I just needed to get the stream going, and this is working for now. So let me see if I can find this. I imagine there's a picture somewhere or a quote. I'm not. Oh wait. Oh, okay. No, that's not what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to paraphrase, so I'm not wasting more time than I need to. But my legs are getting tired. I need to change my position. Um, but it mentions that the virus. There was some virus. I don't remember if they said 2020 or not. Um, but they had said the virus or whatever it was. Yeah, it was a virus or a global epidemic or whatever. Would be very impactful. It'd be a worldwide issue. Um, it would take effect very quickly, and it would be done almost as soon as it started. So it was like December or at least late 2019 that this started. The first case or two started showing up, and February and March 2020 is where it got very severe. That being said, we've had like 500,000 worldwide cases, I believe. Oh, jeez, hiccup. That of people that have been what's the word I'm looking for here? People who have not necessarily been cured, but who have recovered. Because I believe most of them, if not all of them so far, have been a man made, like a self cure that our body has done. Because for those of you who aren't necessarily good with biology, or not necessarily biology, but like human body science and such, um, your body, your cells are meant to help heal your body, which is why when you get a cut, it scabs over and it heals itself. It's that sort of thing where your body is supposed to learn how to naturally heal itself as best as it can. And obviously sometimes it can't, but it's supposed to a certain extent. And from what I've seen at least, the belief is that our bodies are adapting and we are being able to self-cure the corona with our own bodies, which is very strange to think about because of how hard it hit Italy and other countries, and how hard it hit in general. Um, I'm gonna try to keep up to date for a few more minutes here of what the latest is. Um, this is from Leonard from 5 minutes ago. His name it's at franchise 1977. That's franchise with a Z. He says, "Man, this list is crazy. I see this, and there are some talent on the list on the creative team. I can't wait for this Black Plague to be over." And it's it really is a plague, and there are some things there are some history books that say, plague in 2020, or there was this episode of The Office that I saw. This guy made a TikTok on the highlights of the episode of The Office, um, called The Virus or something like that. And I don't like the show, but it's insane. Some of the things that they mention. Actually, I don't know if I saved it or if I just added it to my favorites because my phone doesn't have a lot of space. But let me see if I can find it, and if I can, I will be. Yeah, no, it's on TikTok. Um, that is actually the only place as of right now that I have not promoted the stream, which could pull me potentially in some viewers to kind of have some people be more aware of this because I really want um people to get aware of this because this is a very, very insane situation. Let's see if I can find it here. Give me just a minute. Let me see if I can find it. I saved quite a few videos, so I'm not entirely sure. So what I may have done, because I don't see it on my TikTok, is I probably have downloaded it to my camera roll, but then deleted it because of lack of storage space. So what I'm gonna say in this case then is that basically go watch the episode, or at least find a video with highlights from the episode, because they said some crazy things about what's gonna happen, and they mentioned 2020, and they mention a virus, and it's crazy. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna open up my Netflix page right here just to make sure. Or actually, I'm just gonna Google it just so I don't have to take the time to search through the seasons. The virus. Yeah. So I'm not seeing it, but I looked up the Office coronavirus. Um. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not seeing it anywhere, but it's pretty crazy stuff. Um. Let's see. I'm back on the WWE releases search on Twitter right now. Yeah, this was said 9 minutes ago by Mad Nutter 01 or 02. Yeah, 0102. Um, Colin Matthey. This was a reply to something. He said, "If the releases are over, then yeah, it's crazy, but not sure if they are." Um, yeah, that's one of the worst things to think about right now is that they may not be done. There may be more. Especially for some of the more lower level talents, like I've said. WWE right now is only yeah, the only updates they have is so far have been for NXT. There have been 0 mentions um of the releases. They're not even doing it on Twitter, which is where they typically do it. I think I have a big bug bite on my leg. I was trying to figure out what that was. Um Yeah, most of this so far, it's all I'm seeing is just NXT updates and such, you know? Um, they have not released any sort of statement whatsoever on their Twitter. And the only statement was on the website, and I will refresh again, but as of me saying this right now, Deanna Prazo has still not been added to the list, but the sound of her tweet made it sound like she is gone. um, yeah, no, there's still no other updates, but I'm now gonna just straight up Google WWE releases. Let's see. Oh man. Um, WWE will probably not, if I had to guess, they will probably not issue a statement until tomorrow or whenever this is over. And it's just kind of mind-boggling because you think about like Jeopardy of the Stars that we know, because so many promotions are already full, you know, and on one level it's kind of cool to think about of like, oh, what if some of these guys were able to come to ETWA or World of Hurt and I got to come work with them now because they're not in WWE. Great for me, but guess what? They're out a lot of money and a lot of opportunity. Um, man, this is just it's I need to crack my back. I've been sitting here for a while. You have to excuse me. My recording sessions don't typically last this long necessarily. I was planning on watching Dynamite tonight, and I was planning on also watching NXT tonight. And obviously that didn't happen now because it is 8:48. So, you know, and my sister will actually be going down soon. So this will probably only be around an hour for a stream. Especially considering I've not seen many updates as of now. But you know, this is just a very crazy time. Um, Below, this is on WrestlingInc.com's news page. They have a full list so far. Wrestlers: MJ Jenkins, Deanna Purrazzo, Alexander Jaksic, Rusev, No Way Jose, Mike and Maria Kanellis, Primo and Epico Cologne, Eric Rowan, Sarah Logan, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, EC3, Drake Maverick, Kurt Hawkins, Heath Slater, Eric Young, and Leo Rush. So that is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that's now like 23, 22, 23, something like that. People that have been released today. And there are more, you know, under producers. And this says producers forlogged, for however you say that word, or release. So I'm assuming some of that might mean postponed. They might have the contracts postponed, but under producers listed is Kurt Angle, Billy Kidman, Mike Rotunda, Pat Buck, Fit Finley, Sean Devari, Scott Armstrong, Sarah Stock, Shane Helms, and Lance Storm. And this list has much more than what I'm reading on WWE.com, who is clearly refusing to give any update, both WWE.com and WWE on Twitter. And that includes Vince McMahon and Triple H. And I will check Stephanie's. I'm actually curious as to what Stephanie has said, if she has said anything. Under announcers, we have Aiden English and Jerry Soto. Under referees, Mike Chioda. Under creative, Andrea Listenberger. Under other on-air talent, Josiah Williams. And they also said stay tuned for updates and news on more releases. So there is more. MJ Jenkins has reported this. At about 7 o'clock, it says 6:59, April 15th. This is today. COVID-19 has been devastating for me and my family. My brother-in-law, who was my legal guardian, passed away to COVID-19. Today, COVID-19 stripped me of my dream job. Feels like life is being sucked from me. Thank you to everyone who has reached out. Be safe and be strong. I it's almost incomprehensible because you would never expect something like this to happen. You know, you hear about the Plague and the bubonic plague and such and so on in history class or humanities or whatever, but you never really think you'd live through it. And it just goes to show that anything could happen. You know, I mean, I know people who my dad knows because he works in a bowling alley, so I know regular league bowlers who he knows that who are in their 50s to 70s, and they have said, you know, they're like, you know, I'm 74 years old or whatever, however old, and I've never experienced anything like this. Like, my grandmother is in her 50s, or both my grandparents are, I should say, you know, and they've never gone through anything like this. It's a very different time. You know, and this is kind of, I want to just mention this. This is kind of perfect circumstances for my older brother, my brother Riley, who moved out of our house when he was 17, and he's 19 right now. So he moved out of our house, and he lives with our grandparents. Because the upstairs of my grandparents' house, back when my great grandparents were still alive, they lived up there. You know, and then my great grandfather had died, and so my great grandmother lived there for a little bit by herself, and then she needed help, more help than my grandparents could provide. So she moved into an old folks' home in my town. A great place run by great people, at least at the time. I haven't been there in years, but 'cause I was little when it happened. But you know, it's a great place from what I remember. It's a very well run organization, and he and so after that, my grandparents turned the upstairs into like a guest area. You know, they had it's 2 rooms, um, and then a bathroom, and 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, I should say, and both rooms have a closet, and it's a really nice place. You know, so it was a guest room for a while where me or my cousins would stay or whatever if we stayed over a night there or two. You know, if one of my grandparents would be taking me up to training, for a day, you know, I'd stay the night there, and um my older brother, Riley, now lives there, and he has since he was 17 because it was actually Christmas Day. He was packing his stuff up to leave. I don't remember if he left Christmas Day and officially moved out, but we had got him some gifts for Christmas that were like, because we knew it was going to happen, and we knew he was planning on it, and we all, you know, we respected it and we supported it, and we got him some gifts for parting, you know, some like housewarming gifts almost, and he was just so excited that he moved out either then or the day after or 2 days after or something. You know, his room was cleared out pretty quickly, and within the following days, he had officially been moved in. He still had some stuff here that he had come back and gotten. You know, because my grandparents live like not even 5 minutes away, like maybe like 3 to 5 minutes away from my house. So he lives there now, and it's perfect circumstances for him because his girlfriend just moved in upstairs with him, so he's able to be around her every single day because he's not going to work anymore. He is an essential worker because he is a certified electrician, but because he's one of the newer guys at the company he works for, he is um on paid leave right now. I believe he is for the next 2 weeks still. Next week or 2, I believe he's still on paid leave. After that, I don't know what's gonna happen for him. Um, which is and my grandparents are awesome. We go camping with them every year. We do a month up at a campground. It's great. I believe I mentioned that in my quarantine vlog video thing. And basically we play a lot of game. We have a lot of our family on my dad's side comes up. Occasionally someone from my mom's side, but not very often. Maybe once or twice a year, if even that. But we play game. It's a full hookup campground. It's not a state park. I just want to mention that we have done the state park thing. It's just tough now because we went from a pop up camper to a hardwall camper. And it's easier for us, and it's a beautiful place, and the people who run it are amazing, and I really really love what they've done with it. This year they are looking to do some improvements, although hopefully they will be able to get those done, but make money from them from the profits they have spent, because which they always do. Most of their profits go back into the park, and I'm hoping they don't have to close down for the season, especially with that because that could potentially mean the business could go under because they have so much money that they make from it. It's amazing, and during the season they live at the campground. I mean, I imagine they go to their house sometime, their real house, but they have a huge cabin um on the grounds, but so we do that. We go camping with my family and such, and we play games and everything. There's all kinds of activities to do. But we'll have like a table set up at our campsites, especially if they're like jointed, like if they're like all put like set together, or if they're just a short walk, we'll go over. And we'll have a table where we're set up where we will play games. We'll play left, center, right, which is a very fun game. Although we don't use the chips that it comes with, we play with quarters, and we actually use that money for ice cream or a snack or whatever. Um, and when you have a bigger group of people doing it too, it's a lot of fun. But we do games like that. We do like Uno, Skippo, Solitaire, Face 10, all that sort of stuff. And it's just very relaxing. It's a lot of fun, and it's really really great. It's a great way to spend your summer vacation. So I really like that. I'm really happy for my brother, I should say, that he's now able to do that every single day with not only our grandparents, who are a lot of fun to do that sort of stuff with, but he also gets to do it with his girlfriend now, which is awesome every day, because his girlfriend's living situations had changed slightly from what they were. So she had moved in with him, and I'm happy for both of them. Um, I'm just gonna go ahead and refresh the Wrestling Inc. page here and see of any updates. Let's see. I don't believe. Yeah, there are no new names yet on there, but I imagine there will be soon, if I had to guess. I will be ending this shortly because it has been about an hour. I actually didn't expect to go this long, but there's just a lot to say about this. I mean, Conman's stream was like 2.5 hours. So I'm just trying to put out my word, what I'm thinking and everything. Um, I'm just trying to see what else has been said. If there has been any sort of update. I'm gonna check WWE's website again and refresh that and see what they've said, if they've said anything. It's gonna take a minute here to load up. I don't know why my computer's being slow, but it's not typically this slow, so I will say, let's see. Yeah, WWE still has not provided an update on their website. I would like to at this time take a All right. Got a tab open for like an hour, so it must have okay. Let's see. Right. So Stephanie McMahon, I would like to see if she has provided any sort of update. I can check Linda McMahon's as well and see if anything, because I imagine she has Twitter because most of them do. Um, so I will see if I have anything from her. And I imagine at this point, WWE itself is saying to talent, don't say anything. Um, because this is important. Yeah, she has nothing that is recent. I'm curious to see if Donald Trump has made any statements. Oh my god. Um, so Donald Trump, I haven't visited his Twitter in a while. As I said, it's been several months since I've logged in. But his background right now, his channel art, or his page art, whatever, cover photo, is a WWE, or not necessarily WWE, but it is a professional wrestling ring in front of a sold out crowd. Um, that is kind of adding to this that it is just a little sketchy. Um, this is just pure insanity. I have not even looked for an update yet, but just the fact that that is what he's had up there. Um, stuff from several hours ago from press conferences and such. Let's see. I don't see anything yet. Yep, there is nothing on Donald Trump's page or feed about this situation that we are in right now. Let's go back to the WWE releases search and go to latest and see what else we have. Anything new? Um, let's see. Okay. Please at WWE, tell me more about your hashtag monster savings, hashtag WWE releases, because it is a screenshot of WWEshop.com where it says, congratulations, here's your reward, 30% off. For the most part at least. So what's so crazy to me about is like quarantine's been good for me, but to see something like this happen, because like I get to be home more. I mean, I'm still working exactly the same schedule, so I'm not losing any money unless I get told to go home early, which is nice, you know. But like I'm sitting at home, I'm watching more TV, I'm getting more exercise, I'm not spending more time sitting down in a chair doing nothing of value at school. So it's not like that. In the chat here we have from Easy A. Seems like all sports are down. Um, yes, I believe that there is not a single sports industry that is still running except for professional wrestling, from my understanding. Um, okay, let's see. I think my sister's just about at the end of the road because I'm hearing her downstairs, so I'm gonna finish up in a few minutes here. But for now, we are gonna keep going until she is up in bed, unless I decide to stop it. But yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy because yeah, all sports are down. I mean, wrestling is the only one that's still going, and WWE is losing ridiculous viewership. I mean, this last episode of Monday Night Raw, they were down like point. What did they say? I can't remember. They said it on the one of the newer What Culture Wrestling videos of the news, and they're losing money. So what do? They donate money and then fire their talent. It just doesn't make sense, you know? It's insanity. I still can't get over the fact that it's happening, you know? It's like I never would have expected something like this to happen. I'm just going back here to the Twitter feed or the Twitter chain, see what else I can find. Man, at WWE, having to cut all this talent, truly upsetting times for one of my favorite things in the world. I 100% agree because um, professional wrestling is such an important thing because not everybody likes it, but the people who love it are really invested, you know? And like for me personally, it's like I haven't watched WWE in a while um because people have just been like not doing as good on the shows because I can tell it's just getting to them, you know, and it's being bogged down, especially with no crowd. Um, they don't they don't lose money. People don't matter. You are correct, Zeke. I will say that that is 100% correct because they're they're acting like they're losing money, but all they're losing is their viewers. That's it. They're not losing money. You know, everybody, you know, a lot more people went to get WrestleMania. They bought WrestleMania because of the fact that no fans were there, and there's going to be a lot more, or a lot less, I should say, views afterwards because now that this whole shenanigans, all the scandals that have come out of saying, oh, they donated the money, and boom, automatically Florida don't labels them as essential. You know, they're essential for Vince McMahon. They are not essential for guys like Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, you know, and even guys like Seth Rollins. Think about this, okay? Seth Rollins, right now, one of the biggest heels in the company, or at least one of the biggest heel main eventers in the company, okay? Challenging Drew McIntyre for the belt and everything, you know, all that stuff. This guy, you know, not modern day, that's Jinder Mahal. He's the Monday Night Messiah, you know, he's a bad guy. He's got this whole crew. It's almost like the inner circle of WWE, if I could make that comparison. But even he was like, he had to break character. He was like, I just can't comprehend this, you know, like it's insanity, you know, and I don't think anybody expected it. And it truly is just a crazy time right now. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh yes, I do want to make a mention for this. WWE was supposed to be returning to live programming, no longer pre-taped. Um, I think this is a bad idea because for the people that they do still have, I think they should pre-record everything like a week or two in advance so that people can be home more with their families. And once they get a bit of a stockpiled amount of footage, they can have people home with their families more, you know? But right now, everybody's just staying in Florida because they need to be there to do their job that they don't need to be doing. I mean, trust me, I'm bummed. I was about to have a wrestling match literally um a week before, not even a week, like maybe 2 or 3 days before I was supposed to have a match. My show got canceled because of all of this. You know, and a few people had started, so we jumped on the bandwagon. We were like, you know what, this is like in town and in the state, but it's a very nice place, and a place like that, it's up for sale right now for new business or for new owners because the current owners are looking for new opportunities, not regarding Corona, but considering it's up for sale, it really makes me wonder if they're about to bite the bullet and go under, which is not what I want to see because it's a great place run by great people, great service, and amazing food. You know, and other local businesses as well, like the bowling alley, like I said, you know, because depending on how long this Corona thing goes on, they might potentially be out of business because obviously you can't have people there. You know, you can have the employees there to work on machines and stuff like that, but you can't have customers, which makes it very tough. and I really, really hope it doesn't go fall under because my dad makes pretty decent money from working there. It's not good, it's not great, it's not terrible, it's decent, it's definitely more than minimum wage. See, I don't know if he's still doing it now with this whole corona schedule that he's been working on, but he was bringing home $600 a week, which was pretty good. I bring home about 80 depending on if I get sent home early or not, but if I show up on time and work my full shift and everything, I usually bring home around $80 plus whatever for overtime if I have any. So, um I am not taking a financial hit at the moment, but I get a feeling I'm going to because where I work at a redemption center that is connected to a little like mini mart, almost like a little convenience store, and I have been deemed an essential worker. So I'm still able to that himself, I think. Because he gets it from a bunch of different people. It's not just his stuff. We would literally have our back wall filled up with two or three filled with cans and plastic. Um, and it's tough to go through, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's nice to not have to worry about that. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, I gotta feel bad for him because um, in the state of Vermont, at least, crushed cans go for 5 cents, as well as uncrushed cans. So he's not necessarily, and so do plastic bottles. Anything other than liquor is 5 cents. It's it's like it's what I knew, for the last couple months. It's what I knew was doing that order, and then for it to just not happen, and for it to be so much, and for it to be fairly, even still fairly busy on Sundays when I work, but for it to be that much busier or that much quieter, I should say, because of the virus and people coming wearing masks and stuff like that, I wash my hands 2 or 3 different times on my shift, before, after lunch, stuff like that, because it's such an important thing to do, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't always keep up with hygiene the best, there are times where I've needed to wash my hands, or times where I've needed to shave, or times where I've needed to do whatever, and I didn't necessarily do it. It wasn't the end of the world, but like I don't necessarily keep up with it as good as I should. Like brushing my teeth, for example, is one that I really don't take good care of, but I'm getting much better at now. Um, and I actually keep my toothbrush right here on my desk because I need to clean up the sink in the bathroom, because it's a bit messy. But, I'm getting much better about brushing my teeth and stuff, and that's so important now, especially, and that's not why I'm doing better about it, but it's a reason to. Um, Going back here to the Twitter feed, it says this guy says, honestly, a devastating day. Just lay in bed and look at all of the WWE releases, and just gutted for everyone who has lost their jobs, and hopefully everyone will be going forward okay. This is just absolute insanity. It's just crazy that it happened. Crazy that it is going to be in the history of the world. It's definitely a different time. It's definitely a difficult time. So I hope everybody is staying safe. I hope everybody is staying healthy. I hope everybody is staying happy to the best of their ability. These are uncharted times. We don't necessarily know what's going on. We don't know what the next move will be. So I hope everybody watching has a great day. I hope they have a great night. I hope everybody's staying safe. Um, this is how I am wrapping this up. This is the end of the stream, but I appreciate it. I really hope you guys are doing well. I really hope this blows over soon, and I hope WWE will release another statement soon. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. Um, I hope to see you guys soon. Um, that's all I got for you guys. So, I might be back up with another stream about something soon, another update. I might turn this into a video if I can't automatically upload it. We'll see what happens there. Um, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Um, I'll see you guys next time.